A. What do you need to learn? Did you know that there are over 500,000 words in English, but that the average native speaker only uses about 5,000 in everyday speech? You already know many of those 5,000 words. This book will help you to learn many of those that you do not yet know, and it will help you to use them appropriately and accurately. B. What does knowing a new word mean? It is not enough just to know the meaning of a word. You also need to know
which words it is usually used with,
its grammatical characteristics,
how it is pronounced,
whether it is formal, informal, or neutral.
So when you learn a word, you should make sure that you
learn new words in phrases, not in isolation.
Notice how words commonly go together. These are called collocations and include adjectives and nouns. For example, rich vocabulary, classical music, common sense. Verbs and nouns. For example, to express an opinion, to take sides. Nouns in phrases. For example, in touch with, a train set, a sense of humour. Words and prepositions. For example, at a loss for words, in particular.
Notice special grammatical characteristics of new words. For example, note irregular verbs. For example, undertake, undertook, undertaken. Uncountable nouns, for example, luggage, or nouns that are only used in the plural, for example, scissors.
Notice any special pronunciation problems with new words.
Check if the word is particularly formal or informal in character. In other words, if it has a particular register.
C. How can you help yourself to memorize words?
Research suggests that some students find it easier to learn words if they A. learn them in groups, and B. make use of pictures, as shown here.
You can group words in any way you like. Topic, grammatical feature, word root, and so on. The unit titles in this book might give you some ideas.
D. How can you help yourself learn more words?
This book will help you to learn vocabulary in a systematic way. However, you can also help yourself to learn more words and expressions by reading and listening to as much English as possible. Here are some ideas about things you can read or listen to.
Websites, recipes, poetry, blogs, audiobooks, radio, for example, BBC World Service, films, magazines, TV, newspapers, fiction, tweets, podcasts, academic or professional literature, songs, sports reports, YouTube, reference material, dictionaries, encyclopedias, conversations with native speakers.
A. Organizing words by meaning.
Try dividing your notebook into different broad sections, with sections for words for feelings, words to describe places, words for movement, words for thinking, and so on.
Charts and tables of various kinds can help you organize your vocabulary. Here is an example for words connected with music.
Instruments: guitar, cello, piano. Types of music: classical, not classic, folk, not folkloric. World. Verbs. Play. Strum, a guitar. Perform. Related words. Practice, noun. Practice, verb. Track. Release, an album.
B. Building networks of meaning.
A network diagram is useful. It can grow in whatever direction you want it to.
The web. Social networks. Unfriend someone. Sign up. Tweet. Surfing. Link. Pop-up. Homepage. Security. Virus. Password. Identity theft. Verbs. Upload. Download. Post. Email. Spam. Junk mail. Forward.
C. Collocations and fixed phrases.
It is important to know how a word combines with other words, its collocations. Always record the common collocations of a word as you meet them. For example, win, prize, award, medal. Earn, money, a high salary. Gain, time, an advantage.
Where a word is often used in a fixed phrase, always record the whole phrase. For example, in a hurry, out of touch, to and fro, now and again.
D. Synonyms and antonyms.
When you find a synonym, same meaning, or an antonym, opposite meaning, of a word you already have in your book, enter it next to that word with a few notes. For example, urban, antonym or opposite, rural. Stop, synonym, cease. Cease is very formal.
E. Organising by word class.
Make a note of the word class of a new word, whether it is a noun, verb, adjective, etc. Record words from the same word family together. For example, produce, produce, verb or noun. Product, noun. Productive, adjective.
F. Stress.
Record where the stress falls on a multi-syllable word, especially if the stress changes between word classes. For example, produce, verb, produce, noun, productive, adjective.
A. What a good dictionary tells you. The basics. A good learner's dictionary, in book form or online, can tell you about
Pronunciation. This may mean learning some symbols which are different from the letters of the English alphabet. Th. In thick. Th. In then. Ch. In church. Sh. In she. J. In jam. J. In pleasure. In ring. A. In bad. O. In top. Or. In form. In put. in about. In up. In bird.
Word stress. Often shown by a mark before the syllable to be stressed, or by underlining or bold type. For example, complicated.
Usage. How a word is used and any special grammatical pattern that goes with it. For example, suggest and clause, not an infinitive. I suggest you ring her right away. Not, I suggest you to ring her right away.
B. Additional information.
Synonyms, words of similar meaning, and antonyms, opposites. For example, mislay and misplace, synonyms. Friend, opposite, enemy or foe, antonyms.
Collocations, how words go together. For example, the adjective firm is often used in these collocations. Firm commitment, firm grip, firm believer.
Whether a verb is transitive or intransitive, catch is transitive and must have an object. For example, he caught the ball and threw it back to me. Laugh is intransitive and does not need an object. For example, she laughed when I told her the news.
Whether a word is used for people and or things. In this entry for the adjective hurtful in the Cambridge Advanced Learners Dictionary online, we can see that hurtful can be used about what someone says or about someone.
Hurtful, adjective, causing emotional pain. That was a very hurtful remark. How can you be so hurtful?
Word class, often as abbreviations. N, noun. ADJ, adjective, etc. And whether a noun is countable or uncountable.
Information about how words are related to one another through meaning. The Cambridge Advanced Learners Dictionary online allows you to see a visual display of the networks of meaning for a word. As in this display for the adjective fascinating. The visual thesaurus shows related adjectives.
Fascinating, entrancing, enthralling, enchanting, captivating, bewitching.
Fascinating, absorbing, engrossing, gripping, riveting.
The adjectives are grouped according to meaning. This can be very useful when you are writing. If you want to vary your use of adjectives, you can look up the related adjectives to see which one, or ones, most closely expresses or express the meaning you need.
A. Working out meaning from context. There are a number of clues you can use to help you understand the meaning of an unfamiliar word.
The context in which the word is used. Visual clues. For example, a picture in a book or film footage in a TV news broadcast. Your own background knowledge about a situation. For example, if you already know that there has just been an earthquake in a big city, then you will find it easy to understand the word earthquake when you hear a news broadcast about it. The words around the unfamiliar word. For example, Tara picked one tall yellow gladiolus to put in her new vase. Even if you have never seen or heard the word gladiolus, it is clear from the context that it is a type of flower. Grammatical clues. For example, it is clear that superstitious must be an adjective in the sentence, Alejandro is very superstitious and would never walk under a ladder. Or that gingerly is an adverb in Mike came gingerly down the stairs, trying to avoid all the broken glass.
Similarity to other words you already know in English. A large number of words in English are made up of combinations of other words. You may never have seen the word headscarf, for example, but it is easy to work out that it is a scarf worn on the head. Units 74 to 76 will help you improve your skills in understanding how English uses everyday words to build up new concepts.
Structure. A prefix or suffix may give you a clue. For example, Units 70 to 72 focus on different aspects of word formation in English and should help you use those clues to make sense of unfamiliar words.
Similarity to a word you know in your own or some other language. If your first language is of Latin or of Germanic origin, you will come across many words in English that resemble words in your own language. However, English has taken many words from many other languages too. So make use of any other languages you know. But remember that some words are false friends. They sound as if they mean the same, but in fact they have a different meaning. For example, gift in English means a present, but in German, gift means poison. B. Explaining unknown words. The following expressions are useful when you are trying to explain what a word or expression means.
It's probably something like a chair, for example. It's probably something a bit like a chair, for example.
It's got to be something you use for painting pictures or cleaning the kitchen floor, for example.
It's a kind of bird. It's a kind of musical instrument. It's a kind of building.
I think it must mean... I think it could mean...
A. Using the.
Most names of countries are used without the, but some countries and other names have the before them. For example, the United States, the US or the USA, the United Kingdom or the UK, the Netherlands, the Philippines, the United Arab Emirates or the UAE, the European Union or the EU, the Commonwealth.
B. Adjectives referring to people, countries, and languages.
With ISH. British, Irish, Flemish, Polish, Danish, Turkish, Spanish.
With IAN or AN. Canadian, Brazilian, Latvian, Korean, Russian, Australian.
With ESE. Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, Portuguese, Maltese, Taiwanese.
With I. Israeli, Iraqi, Kuwaiti, Pakistani, Yemeni, Bangladeshi,
with IC, Icelandic, Arabic, Slavonic.
Some adjectives are worth learning separately. For example, Swiss, Thai, Greek, Dutch, Cypriot.
C. Nationalities.
Some nationalities and cultural identities have nouns for referring to people. For example, a Finn, a Swede, a Turk, a Spaniard, a Dane, a Briton, an Arab, a Pole. For most nationalities, we can use the adjective as a noun. For example, a German, an Italian, a Belgian, a Catalan, a Greek, an African, a European.
Some need woman or man or person added to them. You can't say a Dutch. So if in doubt, use them. For example, a Dutchman, a French woman, an Irish person, an Icelandic man. D. World regions.
The Arctic, Scandinavia, North America, Asia, Europe, the Mediterranean, Central America, the Caribbean, North Africa, the Middle East, the Far East, East Asia, the Pacific, the Atlantic, South America, Southern Africa, the Indian Ocean, Australia, the Antarctic, Antarctica.
Regional groups and ethnic groups.
People belong to ethnic groups and regional groups, such as African Caribbean, Asian, Latin American, North African, Scandinavian, Southern African, European, Arabic. These can be used as countable nouns or as adjectives.
Many Europeans enjoy travelling to the Far East to experience Asian cultures. Arabic culture extends across a vast region of North Africa and the Middle East. People speak dialects as well as languages. Everyone has a native language or first language, sometimes called mother tongue. Many have second and third languages. Some people are expert in more than one language and are bilingual or multilingual. People who only know one language are monolingual.
A. Cold weather.
In Northern Europe, daytime temperatures are often quite mild, even in late autumn. The days are often misty, foggy and damp. Soon winter arrives with frost, icy roads and severe weather, including heavy snow. As people expect the weather to be bad, they try and keep warm so they don't freeze. Freezing weather may continue in the far north until May or even June, when the ground starts to thaw and the ice melts again.
B. Warm or hot weather.
In a tropical climate, the weather is often stifling, muggy and humid. In other hot climates, there may be boiling hot days and heat waves may be common.
C. Wet weather.
Shower, heavy rain, pour down, torrential rain, flood.
This wet weather scale gets stronger from left to right. Shower, noun. Heavy rain. Pour down, verb, or downpour, noun. Torrential rain. Flood, noun and verb.
This rain won't last long. It's only a shower.
There was quite heavy rain during the night. It rained heavily during the night.
It was absolutely pouring down yesterday. There was a real downpour.
In Malaysia, there is usually torrential rain most days, and the roads sometimes get flooded. There are sometimes floods on the roads.
The sky's a bit overcast. I think it's going to rain.
We had a drought last summer. It didn't rain for 6 weeks.
D. Wind.
There was a gentle breeze on the beach, just enough to cool us.
There was a very strong wind, and my umbrella blew away. There was a very high wind, and my umbrella blew away.
There was a gale that day, so we didn't go sailing.
People stayed indoors because there was a hurricane on the way.
A. Hair, face, skin and complexion.
She's got straight hair and she's thin-faced. She's got straight hair and she's got a thin face.
She's got long, wavy hair, and she's round-faced. She's got long, wavy hair, and she's got a round face.
She's got curly hair and is black.
He's got a crew cut. He's white.
He's bald and has freckles.
He's got a beard and moustache, and has a chubby face.
He's got receding hair and a few wrinkles.
He used to have black hair, but now it's gone grey, almost white.
What sort of person would you find attractive? Blonde, fair, dark, or ginger-haired? What sort of person would you find attractive? Blonde, fair, dark, or red-haired?
She has such beautiful auburn hair.
Fair and dark can be used for hair, complexion or skin.
Some people like getting a tan in summer, although the risks of getting sunburnt are well known.
B. Height and build.
Fat may sound impolite. Instead, we can say that someone is rather plump or stout, or a bit overweight. If someone is broad and solid, we can say they are stocky. A person with good muscles can be well-built or muscular. Someone who is very fat can be described as obese, especially when talking in a medical context.
Someone who is thin can be described as slim or skinny. If someone has a nice figure, they have an attractive shape.
C. General appearance.
She's a very smart and elegant woman, always well dressed. Her husband is quite the opposite. Very scruffy and untidy looking. Very scruffy and messy looking.
Chloe looked stunning in her red dress.
He's very good looking, but his friend's rather unattractive.
Her eyes are her best feature.
Do you think beautiful women are always attracted to handsome men? I don't. I think personality matters most.
First impressions are always important.
A. Intellectual ability.
Lots of ability. intelligent, bright, clever, sharp, shrewd, able, gifted, talented, brainy, informal. Lacking ability, stupid, foolish, simple, silly, brainless, daft, dumb, dim, thick. The last 5 are predominantly informal words, and they can all be offensive. Clever in a negative way, using brains to trick or deceive. Cunning, crafty, sly.
B. Attitudes towards life.
Amal is pessimistic, while Nia is optimistic. He always expects the worst to happen, while she looks on the bright side.
It is strange that one of the twins is so extroverted while the other is so introverted. Ben loves being the focus of attention, while Jake prefers to be alone with his thoughts.
I feel very tense after a very busy day at work, but after a hot bath, I'll soon feel relaxed. I feel very wound up after a very busy day at work, but after a hot bath, I'll soon feel relaxed. I feel very stressed out after a very busy day at work, but after a hot bath, I'll soon feel relaxed.
Eva is very sensible. She'd never do anything stupid. In other words, she's very practical and down to earth.
Roberto is very sensitive. He gets very upset, or worked up, more informal, if he feels people are criticizing him.
C. Attitude towards other people.
Enjoying others' company. Sociable, gregarious.
Disagreeing with others. Quarrelsome, argumentative.
Taking pleasure in others' pain. Cruel, sadistic.
Relaxed in attitude to self and others. Easygoing, even-tempered, laid back.
Not polite to others. Impolite, rude, ill-mannered, discourteous.
Telling the truth to others. Honest, trustworthy, reliable, sincere.
Unhappy if others have what you do not have yourself. Jealous, envious.
D. One person's meat is another person's poison. Some characteristics can be either positive or negative, depending on your point of view. The words in the right-hand column mean roughly the same as the words in the left-hand column, except that they have negative rather than positive connotations.
Positive associations. Determined. Negative associations. Obstinate, stubborn, pig-headed. Thrifty, economical. Stingy, mean, tight-fisted, miserly. Self-assured, confident. Self-important, arrogant, full of yourself. Unconventional, original. Eccentric, odd, peculiar, weird. Frank, direct, open. Blunt, abrupt, brusque, curt. Broad-minded. Unprincipled, permissive. Inquiring. Inquisitive, nosy. Generous. Extravagant. Innocent, naive, ambitious, pushy, assertive, aggressive, bossy.
A. Positive and negative qualities.
Positive. She has a heart of gold. He's as good as gold.
Negative. She's as hard as nails. He's a nasty piece of work.
Note also, her heart's in the right place. He's such an awkward customer. She's a pain in the neck. Nobody likes her. He gets on everyone's nerves.
B. Idioms based on head. You can learn idioms by associating them with a key word or words. Two of the idioms in A, for example, are based on gold and two on heart. Here is a set of idioms describing people based on the word head.
To have your head screwed on.
To have a head for heights.
To have a head like a sieve.
To have a good head for figures.
To have your head in the clouds.
To be head and shoulders above someone.
To bury your head in the sand.
To keep your head.
C. How people relate to the social norm.
She's a bit of an oddball.
He's really over the top.
He's gone round the bend, if you ask me.
My politics are very middle of the road.
D. Who's who in the class. Idioms for people in the classroom.
Sam's teacher's pet.
Laura's top of the class.
Harry is a real know-all.
Ali's a bit of a big head.
Anna's a lazybones.
The last three idioms are used of people outside the classroom situation too.
A. Types of relationship.
Are you and Holly best friends?
She's a good friend. She's not my best friend.
But she's more than just a casual acquaintance, right?
Oh, yes. We were housemates at university.
Really? So how did you first meet her?
I met her through my ex, Callum. She wasn't in a steady relationship with anyone at the time, and she was looking for someone to share a room.
Aha! Is that Callum who's now Olivia's partner?
Yeah, that's the one. They're not just partners, they're married, and they're colleagues too. They're saving to buy a house now, so Callum's living with his parents-in-law at the moment.
B. Internet relationships.
If you join a social network, you can acquire friends, people you share personal information with, and build up your list of contacts. You can invite people to become your friends, and you can choose to accept new friends who invite you. You can interact with your friends by exchanging messages or posting comments on their page. You can also share photos and tag your friends, name them in photos that you post. If you want to finish a relationship, you can unfriend or defriend that person.
C. Liking and not liking someone.
Core verb. Like. Positive. Stronger. Love. Adore. Idolize. Negative. Dislike. Can't stand. Loathe. Respect. Look up to. Admire. look down on, despise. Attract, be attracted to. Fancy, informal. Leave someone cold. She doesn't just like Ben, she idolizes him. I can't stand him.
I really fancy Charlotte, but her friend just leaves me cold. I really fancy Charlotte, but her friend doesn't do anything for me.
D. Phrases and idioms for relationships and dating.
Lily and I get on well. Lily and I get on well with each other.
Jack and Amelia don't see eye to eye.
I've fallen out with my parents again.
Carl is having an affair with his boss.
Let's try and make it up.
He's dating a Spanish girl. They've been seeing each other for a couple of months.
They met at a party and got together soon after.